Before we step into today's episode, take a breath, because episode 2 will take you into a world where danger whispers through the desert wind. Yet somehow, love dares to rise from the dust. This is the story of Gloria Johnson, a young missionary whose heart beats with compassion, and Lieutenant Ethan Matthews, a soldier who has seen more war than peace, yet finds himself drawn to a quiet light he cannot explain. In this land where gunfire can break a morning silence, where prayers and fear often breathe the same air, something beautiful begins to grow. A bond, a spark, a promise. So if you're ready for an unforgettable journey of faith, courage, and love blooming in impossible places, stay with me. And before we begin, kindly subscribe, like, and share this story. Your support keeps the light shining and ensures you never miss the next episode in this emotional, heart-steadying series. Now, let episode 2, The Soldier's Promise, begin. It had been 6 months since Gloria Johnson first arrived in Syria with her missionary parents. The once strange land now felt like home. The call of the muezzin at dawn, the laughter of children in the schoolyard, the smell of wood smoke and bread baking in clay ovens. Yet under that familiar sky, another rhythm had begun to beat quietly, the rhythm of love. Each morning, Gloria walked the narrow path to the schoolhouse. Her long beige dress caught the desert breeze. Her scarf fluttered behind her like a banner of peace. She smiled and greeted everyone in the village, from old Imam Khalid, who always waved from his doorway, to little Yara Hassan, who never failed to run and hug her legs. On this morning, though, something was different. A small convoy of American soldiers had returned to the nearby base for humanitarian support. Among them was Lieutenant Ethan Matthews, the young officer whose quiet eyes had met hers at the well weeks ago. Sometimes destiny doesn't knock. It walks past you twice, just to see if you will notice. The sun burned high as Gloria balanced a basket of vegetables on her head. From a distance, a military truck stopped. Ethan stepped down, holding medical supplies for the local clinic. He spotted her instantly, that same soft smile, that same spark. He approached, careful and respectful. "Good afternoon, Miss Johnson," he said, voice gentle beneath the weight of his uniform. She paused, surprised but pleased. "Lieutenant Matthews," she replied, her accent carrying both Texas warmth and African rhythm. Her eyes light up, his face relaxes into a grin. Around them, villagers pass by, pretending not to notice, but smiles play on their lips. For the first time in months, the war felt far away. That evening, Ethan joined the missionaries for dinner once more. Pastor David spoke of faith and endurance. Mrs. Grace Johnson listened, her hands clasped in quiet prayer. Gloria served them, her movements graceful, every gesture filled with humility. But when her eyes met Ethan's across the flickering lamp, a spark of joy flickered through the room. Outside, the night was cool. Crickets chirped. The stars seemed closer. Gloria stepped out to wash the dishes, her mind clouded with thoughts she dared not name. Ethan followed with a lantern, his shadow tall against the clay wall. He offered to help, and she laughed, that soft, musical laugh that had already become his favorite sound. They talked about everything: faith, family, and fear. And in those words, a promise was born, though neither called it that yet. Days rolled into weeks. We see Gloria teaching Yara's class. The children clap and sing. Ethan and his men deliver food to displaced families. The Johnsons host community prayers under a tree at sunset. Where others saw war, they built a world of peace, one gesture at a time. And slowly, love and purpose began to walk hand in hand. But peace in Syria never lasted long. One afternoon, gunfire echoed from the East Ridge. The soldiers rushed to reinforce the perimeter. Gloria stood by the window of the mission school, holding Yara close. Her heart pounded. Helmet on, rifle in hand, his expression calm yet heavy. "Stay inside," he said firmly, before running toward the smoke. In war, love doesn't ask for safety, it asks for strength. That night, the stars returned to a silent sky. The village had been spared, but fear still lingered in the air. Ethan came back hours later, covered in dust and exhaustion. Gloria waited outside the mission house, a lantern in hand. Her face was streaked with tears she hadn't realized had fallen. As he approached, their eyes met. The unspoken relief between them deeper than words. He managed a weak smile. "You were praying for me, weren't you?" She nodded. "I never stopped." He placed his hand over his heart, a silent thank you. That night, a soldier's courage met a woman's faith, and something eternal began. The next morning, the mission church overflowed. Pastor David preached about divine protection, his voice echoing against mud walls. Ethan sat at the back, his head bowed. Gloria led the children's choir, her voice trembling with emotion. Mrs. Grace Johnson watched her daughter, tears in her eyes, sensing something sacred stirring within her only child. Faith had always been Gloria's compass, but now her heart had found a direction too. Later that night, Gloria sat alone at her table. Her journal lay open, the ink fresh and wet. "Dear Lord," she wrote, "is it wrong to love a man who fights wars but still believes in peace?" Her pen trembled slightly. She sighed and closed the book. Her reflection in the lamp's light, tender yet conflicted. Love had come to her not in music or letters, but in the sound of footsteps returning safely after battle. One evening, as the moon rose pale above the desert hills, Ethan stood outside the mission gate, waiting. Gloria stepped out, her white scarf glowing faintly in the moonlight. He reached into his pocket and handed her a folded piece of paper. On it, his handwriting, simple, heartfelt words. "If ever this war ends, I'll find you, wherever you are. That's a promise." She read it slowly, her lips parting in surprise, her heart racing. In a world torn apart, two hearts dared to make a promise no bullet could silence. She smiled faintly, folded the note, and pressed it against her chest. And as the night wind rose over the Syrian plains, she whispered, "Then I'll wait." Love is not born in perfect places. It grows where fear has failed, and faith takes root. For Gloria Johnson and Lieutenant Ethan Matthews, this was only the beginning of their promise. Gloria held Ethan's handwritten note close, words simple but heavy with destiny. "If ever this war ends, I'll find you, wherever you are." In a world shaken by fear and uncertainty, a promise like that wasn't just bold, it was sacred. It was hope wrapped in fragile courage. It was the beginning of something heaven itself seemed to breathe upon. Their paths were carved by danger, their courage tested by fire. But in the quiet spaces between duty and faith, love took its first true breath. And this is where we pause their journey. Because what lies ahead, the sacrifices, the distance, the valley wedding, the trials of destiny, will change everything. If this episode touched you, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this story. Your support keeps this series alive and ensures you're the first to know when episode 3, The Wedding in the Valley, unfolds. Until then, remember, love isn't born in perfect places. It grows where hearts choose courage over fear. See you in the next episode.